Nearly 12,000 BYU students welcomed one of America's top Catholic leaders today.
Carol Makita was there for what some are calling a historic address.
Deanie and Bruce, Cardinal Francis George is the president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. He told the students that the relationship between the two faiths was not always friendly, that Brigham Young and Lawrence Scanlon, Utah's first Catholic bishop, would be astonished by today's gathering. But he called Catholics and Latter-day Saints partners in defending religious freedom.
They sang a hymn familiar to both Catholics and Latter-day Saints. They recited the Lord's Prayer, led by a Catholic professor who teaches at BYU.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven.
With nearly 12,000 students attending and more watching on television and by satellite, Cardinal Francis George delivered the weekly forum address, talking of a growing partnership between the faiths.
In recent years, Catholics and members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have stood more frequently side by side in the public square to defend human life and dignity.
Cardinal George spoke of unity in the fight against poverty and pornography and standing for the right to life. He talked of the two faiths defending religious freedom, which he says is not just freedom of worship.
At stake is whether or not the religious voice will be heard in the public square.
The two faiths stand together against same-sex marriage. What he most regrets, he says, is the overt opposition.
It's happened in Proposition 8 in California. And respond by thuggery, by quasi-fascist tactics, then the common good, our whole society, stands in great jeopardy. Mormons and Catholics who take pride in our citizenship as Americans and our legacy of service to the nation.
The students gave Cardinal George a standing ovation.
I thought today was historic in that sense, is everybody coming together.
A lot of times there's this false animosity between Catholics and Mormons, and I just think that, the Lord's work is too big for just one people.
Cardinal George also talked of both President Hinckley and President Monson and mentioned President Monson's kind remarks about the partnership the two faiths share in humanitarian work. Bruce and Deanie.
Thank you, Carol.
More snow.